Hey planner friends! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be planning from the 6th to the 12th of March in my Hemlock Oak weekly. Let's get started. So the kit that I'm using this week is Grunge from Plannerface, and I feel like the art in this kit is very me and also perfect for like an anytime week, which is kind of what this week was. I do PR for Plannerface, so you can use my code in the description to save yourselves a little bit of money and also mention me for a freebie. I especially think that this kit was a good pick for this week because I do usually pick some more springy kits as we're getting through the month of March, but this week we had snow in the UK, so it wasn't exactly the most springy week, so having this kind of grungy anytime kit worked perfectly because obviously the UK weather can't agree. When I'm using winter kits that are all snowy, it's going to be like kind of mild, and then when we get into spring kits, it's going to start snowing. Also, the t-shirt deco that I used in my sidebar really reminds me of those like criminal damage jeans that everyone had when I was 17 that had the skeleton hands on the bum. This kit is definitely satisfying my inner elder emo. As usual with my setups in my Hemlock Oak, I've added in all of my date covers along the top, and I trimmed like 1 millimeter off the side of all of my date covers, so I had a tiny bit of white space between each date cover. The date dots that I'm using this week are from my Plannerface advent box because I don't really have a huge number of date dots to choose from, and then I'm adding a glitter header under each of my date covers. Oh, and as I've done in pretty much every single setup that I've done so far in this planner, I add my little glitter header in on a day that I need to add in a holiday, and I'm going to have to peel that up again in a minute. So Wednesday this week was International Women's Day. I'm adding a fancy label from the kit in between the date cover and the glitter header, and also a stick with a Planco girl who is, I think, blowing one of those like party streamer thingies. And I think she's from the New Year's Eve sheet for this year, but I can't remember. I'm then going to add one of the 15mm strips over Saturday and Sunday to mark out the weekend and overlay that with the weekend banner. And for my weekend banners at the moment, I'm trimming a flag off each side of the Plannerface banner. Because my planner is a little bit narrower than a normal 7x9, the banner would actually go off the page if I didn't trim it. I've then cut the second 15mm strip from the kit in half to create a divide between the vertical planning space and my reflection section along the bottom. I'm so glad that even though I cut this washi in half, you can still tell that there's like skull and crossbones all over it because I really didn't want to lose the pattern when I trimmed it. As usual for my decorative boxes, I've trimmed these vertically on my sticker paper to take a little millimetre off the side so that they fit within the columns, and then I'm trimming them horizontally on my planner, and I have the sizes that I need worked out in my iCal in front of me when I'm setting up my spread. Because my spreads are now very loosely based around the timelines rather than being super strict to them, I can add in decorative boxes in the evening like I've done on Monday, because I only have one time sensitive thing to do on Monday and it's like right in the evening, so I decided to just not use the timeline on Monday at all. I thought it would be a bit weird for me not having that kind of rigidity and structure within my planning, but actually I'm dealing with it pretty well and I really like the effect that it's having on the spreads I can create. Once I've got all of my decorative boxes down, I'm going to actually remember to add in some sort of divide between the end of work and the beginning of my evening on days where I don't have a decorative box in the way. So on Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, I'm using my theme colour for March, which is this vintage moss passion marker, to just add in that divide. And then this week I decided to try and make it look like barbed wire in the same kind of style as is in the date covers. So once all of that's done, we can zoom in and get started with my plans for the week. So starting on Monday, I'm just adding in a blob of my theme colour with this little pet paw icon from Plannerface to mark in a space for my checklist. I was off work on Monday, so I was having a pretty chill day. And then using a third box with the pen pot doodle from the kit to mark in that I was going to do some back planning. And then I'm using one of the squished half boxes with a Coffee Monsters Co weightlifting emoji to mark in going to team training this day. I've then added in a day off script to the top of Monday to mark that I wasn't in work this day, and a work from home script on Tuesday to mark that I was working from home. To mark in all of my work checklists this week, I'm using little Papershire icons, and then I'm also using a Papershire Bunilla to mark in just my cleaning checklist for the evening. On Wednesday it snowed, but I still managed to make it into the office, which was good because pretty much all of this day was taken up by training for my cancer rotation, which I'm marking in with a scientist and another emoji from Coffee Monsters Co. I'm then marking out a space for my evening to-do list with a bit of deco from the kit, and then quickly skipping back to Tuesday to mark in doing some yoga at home with one of my Pinky Stickers printables, and I actually just moved this to Wednesday, which is when I normally do yoga, because after setting up the spread I obviously moved around what days I wanted to train this week. Moving on to Thursday, I'm first marking in a meeting that I had using a little thing and the laptop doodle from the kit, And then I'm adding in another Pinky Stickers printable for my weight session for Thursday. I'm then adding in my work checklist space and also my evening to-do list space, and this recycling icon is from Plannerface but has been discontinued. On Thursday evening, I was originally going to try and do some setup for my March monthly, but I'm still not 100% sure with how I'm setting up my monthlies in this planner, so I'm not sure if I'm going to film it, but once I've worked out what I'm doing, I will start filming them. So there might be a March monthly setup coming next week, or there might not, I'm not sure yet. Also for Thursday evening, I've marked out some me time with a bathtub doodle from Plannerface, and I've also added in my work from home script onto the top of Thursday. You're now going to see me spend ages trying to work out the spacing for all of the things that I wanted to add into work on Friday, and one of the things that I did add in this Friday actually isn't until next week, so I didn't need to worry about the spacing for this day, and I spent all this time filling with stickers for no reason. But I first marked in using a little thing from the kit, just a meeting that we had in the morning, and then right now I'm using a quarter box to mark in some shadowing that I thought I was supposed to be doing this day but is actually next week. But because I thought this might take up a lot of time on Friday, I end up switching this out for a square box with loads of deco from the kit. And then I also had a meeting late on Friday afternoon, which I'm marking in with another quarter box and the phone doodle from the kit. But because that shadowing wasn't actually a real thing, I ended up moving all of this around and just putting a bit of decorative box in the middle to take up some space on Friday. And also, of course, because the square box is green, I didn't want the quarter box at the end of Friday to be green, so I swapped it out for the orange one that I had in there originally, and it's just such a mess. I'm so glad that these stickers didn't get destroyed with all of my playing with them while I was trying to work out this Friday situation. But anyway, for Friday evening, I'm using another emoji from Coffee Monsters Co. to mark out a space for my checklist, and then we can finally move on to Saturday, where I'm doing my usual trick of using 2 half boxes on their side to mark out a big chunk of time for team training, and this week I'm marking it with another emoji from Coffee Monsters Co. Can you tell that I've literally just got my first ever order from Coffee Monsters Co. in because I've used so many stickers this week. Before training, I'm going to edit and record this voiceover, so I've used a quarter box with an edit script from Plannerface and some deco from the kit to mark that in. And after training, I'm going to do my planning for next week, so I've used a flag with the planner doodle from the kit and a planning script from Plannerface to mark that in. For my to-do list for Saturday, I'm using a bit of deco from the kit, and then I'm just adding in my usual half box for whatever we get up to on Saturday evening. I'm trying to have a pretty chill one this weekend, so I'm hoping for something lazy on Saturday evening. Moving on to Sunday, the first thing that I'm marking is my checklist for the day using a laundry doodle from the kit, and then I'm marking in uploading this video using a skinny event label with a YouTube button icon from Ickle & Co and an upload script from Plannerface. I'm actually running low on those YouTube button icons and really scraping the barrel for colours that vaguely match the spread that I'm doing, so this week's is grey. And then I'm just adding in my last Pinky Stickers printable for my accessory day on Sunday, and then I can just go back in and add in all of my dots to all of my checklists. As I mentioned last week, at some point I might do something a little bit more interesting than just dots that kind of makes it more worth showing in these videos, but at the moment this is just what I'm doing to mark in my to-do lists and checklists and stuff for the week. And once I've got all those in, I can go back in and fill in all of my plans as usual using my Pilot Friction pen. So this week is one of those 4-day work weeks that just has made the week feel so much longer than it actually is. That Monday feels so far away even though it was only a couple of days ago. Although it was nice to be able to get to an extra team training session this week because I really enjoy going to those instead of training at the gym that's just over the road from my house, because it's just a better vibe and people cheer you on when you're doing your heavy lifts rather than just side-eyeing you when you accidentally drop weights. But my cancer rotation has been pretty good this week, although it has kept me super busy while I've been at work because this week I've actually been starting to write stuff down. So I'd say when it comes to the amount of work that we're expected to have produced at the end of the 6 weeks worth of work, I've done about a quarter of it, which isn't too bad. I kind of wish that I'd got a little bit more done this week, but I did also manage to squeeze in some extra portfolio work, so I'm happy with how much I've done. I'm really trying to push myself to get my portfolio finished in the next couple months because I feel like I'm ready to have it done, but it is a lot of work to get it from where it is now to finished. So I'm not planning to take any time off from making content or anything, but if I do disappear, that's probably why. Outside of work and portfolio and stuff, because I don't really want to talk about that through my whole voiceover, this week has been okay. Reggie has been doing so much better this week. He's full of energy. He's getting a lot more mischievous than he has been. He ate through a Tupperware to get some food that was inside yesterday, so that was great. And also he really enjoyed the snow on Wednesday. It's really weird how he hates going out in the rain but seems to be happy as anything just mooching around in snow. It's a month since his last checkup at the vet's and we don't need to take him in for another month because he's doing really well, so we're hopefully going to be reducing some of his medication soon and seeing how he gets on with that. My focus for this week was, of course, that I was doing my oncology rotation because this was week number 2, even though I had a day off on Monday. But that is all of my pre-planning. Let's take a look at my finished spread. So here is the spread all filled out and I'm really happy with how this one's come together. As I already mentioned, I really love the art in this kit, it's very me, but these colours are kind of unusual for planner kits, which made it really interesting to use this kit. As you can see in my reflection section, I have a little picture of Reggie in the snow, and of course I have a video of it as well, which my boyfriend took because I was in work that day, so I got to miss out on Reggie's second snow day as well as his first last December. So that's everything for this video, friends. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!